We on here.
We live.
Live.
We live.
All right, first episode of What We Know.
What we know.
And we got, on our first episode, we're going to be talking about everything that we see on the videos. We got the Too Short video we got Candace Owens video with the roommates. We also got a video with roommates, and we also have Freshman Fit when they were talking to the young ladies on their show also. So we're going to definitely be getting into that. I am one half of the What We Know crew. I'm DJ Jig Tyte.
I go by the name of Black Rob.
Black Rob in the house. All right, so we got to definitely get this together, man, and start getting people out here to subscribe to our channel. You can go to What We Know on what is on YouTube, and then we also have my channel also, which is what we are on right now, the Jig Tyte channel. Just go to JIGTYTE at goddamn shit YouTube. Yeah, the YouTube channel.
Yeah, What We Know podcast.
Yeah, the What We Know podcast and the Jig Tyte. So right now that's where we at now, but we will be uploading the videos until we get a chance to go live on the What We Know. For some odd reason they didn't allow us to go live on that tonight, but we'll be pretty much going live on that pretty much. Hopefully we'll do it next week. We'll be able to do that.
Yeah, they can't stop us.
No doubt. But let me make sure that we are also on Facebook, because it's looking like I'm going live there also. But I'm not sure. I need to check this out, see what's happening with that. There we go, right there. And we should be good with going on there. If not, I'll probably be able to do it on my phone. Check mine, man, and see if I'm on there. If we are on the Facebook one. For some reason, it's not letting me do this one either. Oh, I know why. That's why.
On Facebook?
Yeah. Oh, so I'm there. We there now. For some odd reason, it wouldn't let us. You don't see it on there? I'll check it in, see if I got it.
But yeah, man, What We Know, man. You know, we all about just, having real conversation, man. Intelligent conversation. This podcast, either gonna make you proud, make you disappointed, or you might say, fuck these niggas. It's up to you. We all about freedom of speech over here. We're gonna give you all the real, So, everything we say is, based off what we know. We're not trying to make nothing up. We ain't trying to brainwash nobody. We just gonna give you all the real, man.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of fake out here.
Absolutely. And also follow me on DJ_Jig Tyte. I should have had that on there at IG. That's DJ_JIGTYTE. And
you can follow me on Instagram at thankful_Robert. You know what I'm saying? And you can also follow our the podcast Instagram at What We Know_podcast as well.
All right. So before we get into this video, we definitely want to get everybody and prompt everybody to go to our channel and subscribe.
Subscribe. It's free.
That is at What We Know. If you go to What We Know, you will see it. What We Know podcast on. Did I put podcast on there?
I did.
Okay. I know. I was like, damn, I don't remember putting that on there. I know I got it on the other shit, but I definitely don't have it on there. But yeah, so a lot of these videos, one of the videos, they're gonna just tie into some shit that we're gonna be talking about throughout all of our episodes, all our podcast episodes, and it's gonna tie into pretty much the role of women and men. It's gonna tie into relationships itself. They're going to have a lot of other things going on. We got one, man, that we definitely want to get to because we had a lot of people chiming in earlier today on Facebook with the whole thing about Too Short, the rapper Too Short, the OG Too Short, and about his preference and what it was as far as women, and what his preference was as far as mixed women, and and he said something on the Sweetie. Is it Sweetie? What's her name? Sweetie.
Yeah, Sweetie. Yeah, it was. She was. Too Short was on Sweetie Instagram. They was on Instagram Live together. He was keeping it real. I didn't really see the whole live. I mean, I'm pretty sure she asked him a question. He just answered. So he just kept it real. What Too Short been doing. But
he was just telling her what he was in love. I'm in love with. I got it on the video. We'll go and then we'll discuss it after that. And we got the homeboy Saigon, the OG. He talked about, it's just a little clip that he was talking to Vlad. Shout out to Vlad. He was on Vlad talking about the youngsters. Was it Chicago dudes or it was the cats that do the drill music?
Drill music, man.
And his disappointment with them. We also have Fresh and Fit. Shout out to Fresh and Fit. We have some a clip with the young ladies discussing. It basically was one girl was talking about a man that has to follow her rules or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was.
She asked a question on why men are scared of independent women. Like why?
That's right. Intimidated.
Yeah, we are intimidated by independent women.
Yeah.
And my man's from Roommates. He broke it down.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But yeah, man, we got a couple other videos. Hopefully, we can get through them. Shit. One of the things I'm looking at now is which one we gonna start with?
Sure. Let's. What you say? You gonna do the Vlad one first?
Man, I hate this camera right here. Bring this over, son. We can do the one with Saigon and Vlad. That's the one we was talking about before. We was talking about doing the one with Saigon and Vlad. Yeah. We was talking about that. Let me see if I can pull that one up, and then we just break down pretty much.
And be watching the video on YouTube, man. Like the video. Just like the video, please. It's free, please.
Not just that, man. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Go there right now. If you looking at this, man, go there right now and subscribe to our video. I didn't even see if anybody was in our chat room. But yeah, definitely go and subscribe there, man. Let's see. No, ain't nobody in there yet. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and do this with these videos right here. We're gonna start with the Saigon video. And then we'll do that. I can't even see it. Where's it at? Too short. I can't see nothing on here, boy. I swear to God, I can't. There we go. There we go. So we got that right there. We're going to put this right here. Let me see where he's at. All right, so, yep, it's on Vlad. Before we even get this video started, man, we have to say fair use. As a matter of fact, I wish I would have read it, but fair use. And we're going to get this started right quick with Saigon and Vlad.
You beefed with...
Hey, man, where do you think that come from?
I mean,
Where do you think that come from? That's what I'm talking about. Is that smile he just did.
I mean,
where do you think that oh, go ahead.
Oh, my bad.
That's all. That shit. That's like my third time watching this,
man,
bro.
Man, this shit fucked up, bro. Like, I mean, for starters, like my man said, man, it's, a lot of broken homes, man. Not having no real guidance in the household first, and and the environment. You see something, you hear niggas, saying on your block talk a certain way, you think this shit normal, and it don't really phase. They don't really phase niggas, man. That shit. That shit crazy.
Look at this. I'm trying to see if I
like,
can.
man.
16.
That nigga don't give no fucks. He's like,
But this is what I'm right here. He's telling him about the cats that are dead that he was talking about, and look at that smile on his face, homie.
yeah.
Where did this come from? It's more than just I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Look at that shit, and he like
he achieved something.
oh my God, bro. That look on his face
It's dangerous.
that shit is scary.
Yeah.
That's what's scary. And none of these dudes ain't even 24 years old yet. They not even 18 dead, gone, and they just looking like what the. Oh man, let's finish this up.
Yeah.
So we can.
And 18.
He was a gangster rapper. You know what I'm saying? Talking that same crazy shit. Now he wasn't talking the level as these new young niggas is doing it, but that shit deep, man. Like this shit is really sad, you know. And it's fucked up that, you know, I ain't gonna cap, like I listen to some of this shit and it's fucked up that, you know, we support this shit. You know.
But what can dudes such as Saigon and a lot of these other dudes, really what can they say to these young guys, man? What can you really say when this is the thing where when I remember when people were already talking about the generation that I come from, listening to music that talked about, you know, the killing of black men specifically, and they were already telling us that it's gonna get worse. So, and I remember when they used to always be like, "So are you gonna be okay when your kids listening to this?" And I just remember, you know, my generation was just like, I ain't got to worry about my kids listening to it because it's all about the parents being the most influenced. And look at where we at now. It's way more scarier. I remember, I don't know if you ever heard of the rap group Bloods and Crips, Banging on Wax. They still play some of that music right now, and it was supposed to be where they were having a truce. This was like in the 90s. I was in the military when it came out. I bought the album, and it was this big movement they were supposed to be having with the Bloods and Crips to stop killing and things like that. Because if you listen to some of the music before they even had that, even if you listen to that, and the only thing, you know, their explanation was, we're just telling people what's going on in the, you know, in the neighborhood. But it went from, we just telling people what's going on in the neighborhood with all these excuses that they were having to now 2000, just in the 2020s. And you know, let's look at even in the, you know, from 2012 to now. Look how it evolved. Like we was talking in the 80s and the 90s, it ain't gonna get that bad for us. And people were warning us then, shit evolves.
Yeah.
And for some odd reason, when you young, or not even just young, is when you really don't understand the impact that you have on the world. And one of the things I see is the impact that hip hop, or I can say black people in specific, have on the world. The impact we have. We ain't got no power over them. All we have is impact because everybody thinks it's cool to do what you see black people in the inner city is doing. Right. They not really living it for real. You got people that's actually in the suburbs mocking this. You got people overseas, China and Korea. You got people over in Russia and Germany, and all they doing is acting like what they see in the, you know, in the movies, or not even in the movies, what they hear in our music. And it'd been something different if the movies had that type of an impact than music do. Yeah. But when you tell people how impactful it is, that we got to be careful of how we get this out there.
Yeah.
we make too many excuses. Even when you look at Saigon, I don't know too much about Saigon. I don't know too much about his music or whatever, but I can tell you right now, it has something to do with black men killing each other. That's the problem that we have when it comes down to this. So then you look at it and say, well, why does it disgust you now? Look at the look on this dude. Let me show you. The look on this dude's face, man. The way he had his hand and his head in his hand. Look at how that motherfucker looking now. He wasn't doing that when his ass was behind the mic in that booth.
And he probably was probably emotional too, because he probably know, like, damn, like, ain't no telling if I inspire some of these young niggas to talk this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, because obviously he looked like he grown and evolved, but you know, I
gotta do a little more research on him. He's definitely younger than me.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, it is what it is. But let's finish this up, and so we can move on. But man, this is just crazy. Where we don't even understand where our power is. We think that people are not really looking at us. That's why you got people acting the way that they act. That's why you got the kids acting the way they're acting. Yep.
So y'all see this, you know, this is lucky it's the first show, but it's gonna be a lot of shows where we're gonna talk about Black Lives Matter, you know, how it's really full of shit. But we ain't gonna get too deep in that. But he's right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to take accountability. You know what I'm saying? We can't always point the finger at everybody else while we fucked up. Because the reason why we fucked up is because we made ourselves fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know, and like you just said, you know, I mean, if you want to see a real change, to me, like you were talking about, like the music, you know, it's gonna take more rappers to speak up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying I don't know what rappers do in their personal life. They probably is trying to talk to these young cats, but it's hard. It's kind of hard to try to.
It's not even the rappers when you look at it. This is a whole different ball game, man.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's one thing to be a rapper, because rappers they hold an image or whatever, and you know, eventually
A lot of
they
rappers
get
so.
Right, and then you see it does deal with how, I gotta say that art imitates life. Life also imitates art.
Facts.
What comes first, the chicken or the egg? And there's nothing wrong with if you were, if it was just, you know, you got somebody that does this type of rap, somebody that does that type of rap, and it's cool. But we not talking about that. We talking about literally how people are messing with each other's minds by using art, specifically music. One of the most powerful things that we can use to get us, it's supposed to get us through in life. It's supposed to be able to express.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be able to do things like that. Right now, it's not really, when you listen to a lot of this stuff, there's no real expression. Not when you got everybody's doing the same thing. Everything sounds the same now. And when you hear people saying that, they're not lying. People be thinking that, you know, especially somebody that's my age, oh, they just old. And they be like, well, back in my day was different. It was a big difference. And even back in my day, there were times where music, it negatively impacted a community.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people not understanding that. It's definitely negatively impacting our community. We look crazy right now. That shit sounds crazy when you hear the lyrics in a lot of these rappers. And I'm talking about these are young folks.
Yeah, man.
They don't
Kids,
say nothing but what everybody else is saying.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, man, just even if you just go and you listen to rap, even in the early 2000s, just listen to the variety of it. People were still different. You still had people really talking about something. Now it's all dead brain. We always had dead brain rap, but it was not in the forefront, and it definitely was not on radio.
Yeah.
it was very hard to get on radio. If you talking about killing somebody, if you talking about hate, women hate men hate women, and you got a tight beat and it's tight enough, that shit's gonna get on the radio. Now the craziest part is
powerful now because you don't even need a radio now.
I was just about to say
streaming platforms.
I was about to say radio is not even as powerful as it used to be.
No, it could touch millions of people just like
they ain't even trying to get radio play other than to add to the to YouTube to add to what do they call it? It's a you like now when you get points and stuff like that in a record industry. I mean, your YouTube channel. It used to be Sound. What was it? SoundCloud. Now is Apple, Livewire. Yeah. It's all of these different things that they added to it. Back in the day, it was if you can get you some spins on the radio. Even though the radio is still, it's still a tool that's impactful. It ain't used the way that it has to be used anymore. That's why, because people can use these platforms now. But it's so bad when you start looking at it where it starts to really impact daily lives.
That shit fucked up.
I'm gonna say this and then we gonna move on. That shit looks retarded in a motherfucker when you see somebody like you see a young guy, young black dude on the bus or walking down the street rapping goddamn rap lyrics.
And who was that? What was that sample?
You gotta pull that up.
Oh, my bad. What was that sample? Forgot that song. I forgot the damn song.
Which one?
The sample that they used. We Smoke.
Oh yeah, they used old girl. And I love you.
Yeah.
And I need you. And they didn't even change the words on that shit, man. It was like they actually used.
That shit is. I ain't gonna lie, that shit fire, but that shit is fucked up.
Yeah, it sounds. It's definitely dope as hell. But as soon as he started rapping, what's the first thing come out his mouth?
Shit,
I blow your brains out. I blow your brains out.
Yeah.
Who they talking to? That's right there. It was the turn off right there. And the way they doing all that, and then they on a golf course smoking a cigar, and it's like. This shit ain't cool. That's where it gets to
like
a point where
celebrating,
it's
like they celebrating, you know.
And it's getting more and more plays. It's not even so. Even when you look at that, even when you look at these dudes rapping, they doing whatever. I'm not really as disheartened with what they did. I'm more disheartened on the hits it got.
Bro, it got 33 million.
33 million, nigga. Look at the comments.
Shit.
Look at the comments. Look at the comments. Watch what the comments say. You're gonna have some where people got on there and they started actually, saying, "Wow, this is crazy." But then the majority of them is like, "That shit fire."
That shit.
And then they start talking about other people's. These guys are talking about people's loved ones.
Yeah, man.
It's not even the fact that the person that's dead. It's the fact that they're disrespecting the ones that are still here.
Yeah.
And that. If that ain't hell, I don't know what hell is, bro. It's even worse when you have this is a culture that's doing this.
Yeah.
And then I always ask people, if you change the color tone of them young men, what if it was some 18, 19, and 20-year-old white boys talking about that same? I'm talking about no lyrics changed, everything. They were just saying that. Would it impact us even more? Or will people even give a fuck?
I don't, man.
You had some white boys
talking about some black.
Talking about the same dudes that did.
Oh yeah, man. What? They would fucking try to cancel them niggas in a heartbeat.
But why?
Because
ain't that so? Because it's us, we get a pass. It's cool that we kill our own people.
Yeah.
That's what's fucked up about it. Where it's like, it shouldn't even be easy to answer that when you like, because I'm like, we get a pass on killing each other.
Yeah, man.
That's fucked up.
We get a pass killing kids because these are kids.
Not the grown people. The kids are killing kids.
Kids killing kids. That's the fact. Yeah.
Ain't got nobody that's grown will even want to see them look, man. When I see that, you can see it in their eyes, like I was showing you, the little young dude. That look he got in his eyes.
He ain't good, man.
I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see that type of shit. He was like,
Yeah.
and the reason why is that because these dudes they turning these dudes into millionaires. And then you say, well, where's the money coming from? Wow. Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
What you think, motherfucker?
Everybody. It ain't just, I'm not blaming none of that shit on record execs. No. It is what it is. I'm blaming it all on the people that say that they Black Lives Matter, that, you know, what about slavery? What about segregation? Right. I'm talking about all them motherfuckers that sit back. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. White, you know, people, is white supremacy. White supremacy is over with. There's just supremacy now. Anybody can get it. It's supremacy. But they want us to keep riding, and, you know, that's where they go with the whole thing with that, you know, BLM. That's when they go with that shit. Nope. That shit gone. They canceled their goddamn self. Ain't that a bitch? Right. It is what it is, man. But we gonna move on, man. We gonna move
talk
on.
more about this shit, you know what I'm
saying?
No doubt.
No
You know
doubt.
what I'm saying? Just, you know, this is just the introduction, man. We just gonna give y'all a little taste and all how we think and shit.
Yeah, and I'm gonna actually look at some shit about Saigon and see what's going on, because I don't really know him, man. And if anybody else do, man, y'all can go into the comment section and y'all can actually write, you know, who this guy is. I'm gonna do my research on him, man.
I know he came out like early 2000. You know what I'm saying? I think I heard like he had one song with like Trey songs that I heard. I remember. I'm gonna check out his music and see what's popping like,
with him.
Trey songs was like early in his career.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that out and see what. Yeah, man. That's crazy. But man, let's go on. Let's move on to what was the other one we said we were gonna do, bro?
Hold on. So we got 7 people watching right now. Shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? If y'all can like the video, man, you know what I'm saying? You're more than welcome to interact. You know what I'm saying? Comment. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, the next video. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about this Too Short shit. Oh yeah. You okay? This Too Short shit.
We gonna talk about Mr. Short,
man,
Mr. Bitch.
Right, Biatch. I said it.
Mr. Cuss Words. Have you ever heard cuss words?
Curse words?
Yeah.
From Too Short?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that was crazy because, man, that song about what 12 minutes long, and I think he went off the top of his head, man.
I remember my auntie. You know, back in the day, you know, you used to get DVDs players of all the music videos, right?
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
What I'm saying, bro, I remember I was watching Too Short. They had like all his shit from the 80s to like probably from the like, you know what I'm saying, 2000s and shit. Bro, I thought I was watching porn, bro. This shit was ridiculous, right? You know?
Oh, you talking about what, After Dark?
Yeah. It was just, no, it wasn't. We talking about
BT,
Uncut. Yeah,
Uncut.
That was definitely porn. But no, man, I remember my auntie had this DVD, just all his music videos.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the girls wasn't naked and all, but the way he was talking, the way these girls.
Oh, you talking about Too Short?
Too Short.
Oh yeah, man. Too Short it was during that time. I think I got my ass whooped listening to some Too Short. The cast that was really banging at that time was Too Short, Ice-T, Luke still to this day. You play some Luke shit, man. Luke, but at that time, boy, that's and Detroit, and I say Detroit and probably in Miami probably was the hardest dancers, dog. I don't know other place that can dance as hard as Detroit, and like if you see some of them old videos, boy, that Miami shit, boy, it was banging back in the day. That shit was really banging, but yeah, Short was one of them dudes, and it was just like, imagine this, during that time, Short came out, Eazy-E and all them. Mm-hmm. There was really no rap records that ever had cussing on it. No. So people was like, and you couldn't hear Too Short on You didn't nobody find out about Too Short on no damn radio.
Yeah, I heard.
We found out about him. You had to go get his album.
Yeah.
You had to go get Short Shit.
Like Oakland, I really know that nigga.
Yeah. You had to go get, well, I mean, Oakland is like Pontiac.
Yeah.
It's that small. You know what I'm saying? So that was the greatest thing because him and E40 probably was big in the Bay or in California. Mm-hmm. But I remember when I first heard E40, man, I did not like E40. That was the craziest part. I did not like him. He was ahead of his time. That's all it was. But man,
he had been in all this shit.
40 was, yeah. When you talk about, even when you hear people saying, "You feel me?"
Yeah,
that was E40. It was "You feel me." What else he did where and people are still using it right now and don't know where it come from. Because he used to say, "You feel me?" Then he was like, "You smell me." He made up a couple of things, man. I can't really think of it right now, but not short, but E40 man was out cold. He was out cold with the lingo, still is. Yeah. And now look at him, this motherfucker about to be a billionaire, man. And he out here, he got everything. He got it all right now. So it was just a dope thing to see him evolve. When I really started listening to him was probably when he did the album with him and he did the song "Sprinkle Me." So that's when I was like, yeah. But before then, I had cats, especially dudes from the South. They used to love E40. Yeah. They used to always play E40 stuff. And I listened to it. And then once I heard that, and then I really started listening to what he was saying, I was like, oh, this dude got lyrics for real. He was like, he got bars. No doubt he got bars. But yeah, back to this Short Shit, man. I hate the fact that
they got you cut, bro.
Yeah, I ain't worried about it. They can hear my voice, man. I get over. But I hate the fact that this has to be like news. The dude is 50 years old, man. He's married. I don't know if he's still married, but
like all the shit that we just talked about, like y'all mad about this shit? Like,
right. How you gonna get mad at a man that, like, if you heard the lyrics he was saying, you should have got mad at that. And he ain't never held his voice his tongue for shit anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you say, if you hear him on, he on XM. He on LL Cool J's Rock the Bells.
Okay.
Rocking, dog. He rock. He be playing some of the shit too.
Yeah.
So that's short. He's always been, and he's been always a slow rapper. Yeah. Like he ain't never been a lyrical dude or nothing like that. It was just the fact that his cadence was sweet, and then he had that like a little boy's voice. But the cussing he used to have, man, it was more funny than anything else. Yeah. Because if you just listen to cuss words, and then you hear, because I think on his album you had cuss words and then Don't Fight the Feeling. And he had some girls on there that he was doing. That was a dope song too that he did. But man, you hear some of the shit he was saying, you be like, what the hell? But what he was known for, and I mean, he was known from the West and the East Coast, Freaky Tales. Yeah. Doom, 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 doom. Just like you had, who was that? G-Eazy and Cardi B and all them. Yeah. They did that beat and they rapped over that. That beat has always been like iconic. You play that anywhere, man. And that was funny because that song probably was what got dudes to want to get like box Cutlass and, you know, all the damn Oldsmobiles and shit and box Chevys and shit like that and put some speakers in there because that bass was just banging, boy. Short was that dude. He was definitely that dude. My father used to love Too Short because he came out with that song, The Ghetto. Yeah. My old
That's
dude.
my shit too. But like with this whole Too Short, it's fucked up because like it's crazy. Like it's like a man can't even have a fucking preference, you know. Like a woman could fucking say, I want to do this tall, you know what I'm saying, this amount of money, all this other bullshit. But it's okay. But you got somebody like Too Short who probably invented the word biatch, you know what I'm saying? But
he coined the term.
Yeah, he coined the term. Like, so it's like
that was a pimp term.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But if a man said
he coined it,
yeah. If a man say I like Miss girls, you know, or he might say I don't like dark skinned girls. Like it's a fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? But like we're gonna watch this video, man. I'm gonna read some comments. Because I post about this.
Wait, the one that I need that's the TMZ one. I need to do the one that he did with Sweeney before he did that one.
Sweetie, you said
Sweeney, whatever. Who girl was that?
Quavo.
Is that still his wife, his girlfriend?
Hell no.
Oh, because she went on to old boy shit and said,
what the fuck happened.
I know what started it, what kicked it off was she was on what's the name? It's on Revolt. Yeah. And they was having a little podcast they got, and
she was on Justin shit.
Yeah, respectfully, yeah, that's what it was.
Man, she for the streets.
And she put her foot in her mouth.
He was like, man, she for the streets. Kick her to the
he
curb.
Said,
the yeah,
because they said, would he, would you like to have another man, or what she say, do a threesome with Quavo? And she was like, if he's nice or something. What did she say? I don't want to misquote it, but didn't she say she'll invite another man?
He said basically 2 dudes and her.
Yeah,
she called that a threesome, but we know that's a fucking train.
That's a train, no doubt. That's always been a train.
Yeah, somebody's saying I need to turn my mic up. I don't know. Maybe because I need to talk to the mic.
I can, yeah. I got you. Go ahead. Let's see. Yeah, bring it. You just bring it as close. Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring it closer.
Yeah. So we gonna go ahead and which one was that one? That was the one. I thought I had that. That was the TMZ one right there. I don't want to do the TMZ one yet. It should be right up here. Let's see.
Because I had posted about Too Short yesterday, and I had some ladies that agree, it wasn't a big deal, and I had some ladies that said it was a big deal. So what I'm gonna do, after this video, I'm gonna read the comments. I ain't gonna put them out there because I respect them. So
oh, here you go, right here. That's it. I got it. Absolutely. We there with it. All right, let me go here. Bring it up a little bit. All right, so then, after we do the videos, then you can do those comments and we'll address them. So let's rock with it.
Interracial relationships.
Do you like interracial relationships?
I am from the Bay. Does that answer that?
Yeah, so let people know what they can find in the Bay Area. Because I know there's a lot of Filipinos out there, and I'm not
okay, Filipino. So when I leave out the Bay, from the Bay, as a youngster moving around, you would actually see a girl, she kind of fair skin, lighter skin, and she got a little hair, whatever, curly, straight hair, whatever. And you're like, hey, what you mixed with? And they would get offended. They'd be like, I'm black, I'm up to this. And I'm like, no, you definitely mixed with something. And they would get mad. But in the Bay, you can meet a girl before you even say her name, be like, hey, what you mixed with? And she'll probably tell you that her mama's this, her daddy's that. And mixed heritage women have always been my favorite. Like, I don't think I've ever fallen in love with a woman that wasn't mixed.
Really?
And the Bay did that to me.
Really?
Because it's something you get.
So you made it worse.
I feel that way about life too. Like biracial.
Wait, hold on.
Really? Really?
She looked mixed.
Right? Like the fuck?
She looked like she mixed.
Yeah, she
Come
mixed.
on, man. Really?
Wait.
So babies are. You could take the 2 ugliest motherfuckers from different races, and they fuck and make a baby, and that baby just be beautiful. It happens all the time. It's laughing, but it's true.
Why is she tripping? I'm trying to figure this out.
And her mom,
she got baby hair,
right?
That ain't hers. There's some shit she got off the top of her head and put some damn I don't know what she did. Put some Gorilla Glue or something on there and try to make it like it's baby hair. And it's dumb as hell to have a baby hair on a grown ass woman anyway. But she out here going on. Man,
right?
Get the fuck
you
out of
white
here.
as fuck. Like,
you mixed.
Bruh. You be like, I know y'all didn't make that little pretty baby. And you can see the features in it though. You like, what y'all did? I see it. True story.
One thing that I really experienced about traveling outside the Bay Area. What's crazy is like there ain't a lot of Filipinos in the rest of America, because when I say that I'm mixed with Filipino, they be like, damn, you hella exotic. But I'm like, nah, like in the Bay, that's hella normal. So I think it's crazy how different areas got their like dominant type of heritages. Because when you go to the Bay, it's hella Asians and it's hella black folk.
Yeah, I seen a picture of your mom.
So she did. Okay, I get it. She's saying that she is mixed with Filipino. All right, so I get it. She ain't tripping on him.
Okay.
She just laughing because she. I don't know what all that extra shit she was doing, but all right, that was it with that. That was it for that. But what I don't understand is what was the motherfucking all the hoopla.
Yeah, he didn't like say dark skinned women are not beautiful or any other color is not beautiful.
He didn't say nothing about anybody other than the ones that he liked.
Yeah.
Even if he did, okay.
Maybe
let's play it.
Maybe what probably trigger people when he was bringing up the babies and niggas be thinking, and there's some niggas who be thinking this way. If I get with her, I might have a pretty ass baby. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's what triggered people. But still, that's your fucking business. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you feel like, you know what I'm saying?
If I want to get me a goddamn woman that's 6'4", and I got with her because I want to have some athletic children, what the fuck problem is that? If I get a woman that is, a scientist, and I want my kids to have those genes, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that?
If I want to get, you know what I'm saying? You got women that always say that they had, like if a dude was light skinned or if he's white, and they've had it in movies. You've heard women admit it that the only reason why I got with that motherfucker is because he can make beautiful kids.
Yeah.
I've heard grown women say that about little boys. Look at him, girl. He gonna be hard on that woman. He gonna be able to make some good kids, beautiful kids. He gonna be able to make some beautiful kids.
And shit, I always say that. That's why a lot of motherfuckers think this way, because shit, a lot of people be color shaming people. Like, man, if I had $1 for every person call me a black ass when I was a kid,
nigga, they still do.
They still call me. Nigga, they talking about the artwork that we put out, talking about I look light skinned in the artwork. Like the fuck out of here. Fucks that shit, nigga. If you want a light skinned baby, nigga, get your light skinned baby. Fucks that, bro. Y'all niggas need to stop this shit, bro. Niggas is crazy. The fuck out of here.
Oh man. So this was the one where he apologized. Now this is the thing I have to say before we even do it. TMZ they full of shit for one.
Yeah.
They full of shit. Because when you see him say that I apologize if I offended somebody, he wasn't like they were cutting. You gonna see it. You gonna see how they cut from. It wasn't like he had this heartfelt, and they try to make it not TMZ, but it was other outlets that were trying to make it seem like this man went on this. You know how people go on and how they little. I apologize to people and stuff like that. Yeah. No, somebody asked him. They were interviewing him about what he said.
Right. They asked a question.
He said, "Shit, I apologize if I offended somebody on that." I'm gonna let him just go ahead and speak on it. Go ahead, it's short.
I would like to apologize to anybody that's offended by my words. I am from the Bay Area. I come up in the Bay, and it's the whole racial thing to me has never been a factor in my circles. It hasn't been like because you're one race and somebody else is another. We don't like you just because you're that race. We don't like you because you look like that or because you speak like that. And in the Bay, there are a lot of mixed cultures and mixed people. Like it was like that long before I got there. I'm not really into the whole hatred of I hate you because you're light or you're the best because you're dark. I'm just not really into that. And I love my blackness. I love my family on my mother's side and my father's side. We have every complexion, every light, curly, dark, everything. You can't have blood in your body that makes you better than someone else. You can't be born of better parents or better breeding. There's no such thing. That beauty is it's in every real beauty is in every economic class, every race, and you can go find that ugly exactly everywhere too.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
And he just said it all. No one race is pretty much what he was saying was it doesn't exclude any race. There's beauty in every race, every culture, everywhere.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So they tried to make it. If you look at some other outlets, and I can just imagine what's that one? What's the name of it? Baller Alert. I can imagine what they had to say about it, or how they just put it in a way where you just be like, what? Like all I kept saying was Too Short had this heartfelt apology. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Because he said, I apologize if I offended somebody. First and foremost, anytime somebody say I apologize, and if they follow that shit up with, if I offend you, that's not a fucking apology at all. I'm sorry if you felt that way.
Right.
That ain't no fucking apology.
I'm sorry you was in your feelings, motherfucker.
Right. But if you feel it, right, if you felt that way, that's not an apology. So what he was saying was that he was just trying to be politically correct. That's all that shit was. Mm-hmm. And he was just saying, listen, and you see, whoever he was talking to, they would cut everything he was saying. And it is what it is. But, the majority of people are idiots. So you know how that shit go.
Let me just go over these, okay, so let me go over these comments real quick. So, based on what you said,
you got to bring that up, son.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, my bad, people. So, one young lady said, so I was basically saying, she asked me, do I agree? And I told her, well, I feel like that's his preference and it should be a problem. But she said, I agree. I just think everybody is just tired of black men not preferring black women. And that's why it gets blown up. And I told her, well, beauty come in all colors. And she said, well, we know that. But all other beauty get praise except for black beauty. And I just left it alone right there. So what's your thoughts on that?
First and foremost, what she said was definitely a lie. If she's talking about black men as a whole, their first preference is overwhelmingly black women.
Yeah.
So that's not the truth at all. Mm-hmm. Even if you look, like they used to always try to put this untrue thing on NBA players. Every time they get an NBA, they make it, they get a white woman. Mm-hmm. It's not actually true. We can call out some right now. I can call 10 right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, when he was married, his wife he ended up having. What's the old boy with the
Carmelo?
You got Carmelo Anthony. You got Dwayne Wade. Man, we could just keep going on and on and on.
And I would even say this, I hope ladies, don't get too mad when I say this, but it's just the real. Most men that date outside their race, and they not gonna tell you this because they've been disappointed of black women, not because they don't like black women, but they've been disappointed. You have some men out here, think some black women are headaches, some, and honestly, what you said like the other day, they should blame what you told me the other day. So if anything, instead of being mad at the men, you should be mad at the women that are representing women, these black women.
When I was on, that's what I'm trying to think. What was I saying? I told you, man.
And by the way, I love black women. I got a black wife, but I'm just saying, man, a lot of dudes.
You ain't never. I'm done with making a preference. Motherfucker, find out for yourself. I'm done with making a preference. I ain't got to sit back and say I love black women, man. It is what it is. I show my shit. I show it. I ain't got to tell the motherfucker. I ain't never got to preference that shit ever. Just like I ain't got a preference. Well, you know, I ain't got nothing against gay people. Fuck that. I'm not doing none of that shit no more. But when we was talking about when I was, yeah, you were saying, oh, I know what you're saying. I was saying, instead of being mad at men, you know, the men that don't pick black women or whatever, even the thought of it, even whatever it is, be mad at the women that's representing you to look bad.
Yeah.
Y'all don't even speak up for these women that's out here really making black women look bad. You would have black women say, I don't do that. I'm not that type of woman. I'm not no hoe, but they got friends that's hoes. Yeah. They got family members that they hang out that's hoes. They got all these. Well, what she do is her problem. Okay, if that's the case, then don't come talking about what men do, because what they do, that's on them too. That's what I was saying. Yeah. If you going to get mad at somebody, get mad at your representatives. And y'all better start speaking up and saying, them bitches don't represent all of us. Yeah. And y'all better start telling them, it's hoes like you. Because I remember it used to be, and you still have women that'll look at another woman and say, it's women like you is the reason why we having it so bad right now. Yeah. Just like we got men.
We got men. Let's go both ways.
Do the same way. Yeah. Right now, when we sitting there and you got a whole bunch of men telling these dudes, hey, man, why don't y'all quit sagging y'all goddamn pants, man? Quit when you go out here. Like, my whole big thing was, I wish we could still do it the way that we did it back then. Quit saying nigga around people that ain't black. It's too late now. Yeah. You look at Fresh and Fit, everybody saying nigga now. Yeah. And then you got people that want to have an idea where they want to get mad about it. You can't get mad about it now. The damage is done. Let's move on to something else. Yeah. Everybody saying nigga can say nigga, whatever. If they get their ass beat by saying nigga, that's going to be on them then. Right. But it is what it is. Should have stopped doing it back then. And, you know, when you speak to people like that, this is why it's so difficult. Because every day there's a new 18-year-old, new 21-year-old, 25-year-old, and 30-year-old. So when you say, yeah, when y'all was doing that, you know, when we was doing that in the 80s, motherfuckers that's young, they like, nigga, I was born in the 80s. I ain't had nothing to do with that. That was your generation. Yep. Yes. And they still here. So I'm not speaking to just a specific group in that specific group. I'm speaking of the whole of that specific group when I do say what I say. So when a lot of people look at it and they look at Too Short or they look at all the rest of these guys, even when you look at just dudes that got money, their first preference is black women. Yeah. Snoop, DMX. DMX was like, fuck it. He just started doing, man, this dude got how many kids? Like, they in the teens. He in the teens with kids. Yeah. He was just having kids, well, they were just having kids with him also. He shouldn't even qualified after he had his 7th kid, but he was DMX. Yeah. But
yeah, man. Hey, all women are beautiful, man. You know,
no, they ain't, man. Don't be saying some ugly bras out there, man. Have you seen TikTok? You know, it's
I should say it doesn't matter what color you is. Shit, like if you feel like you're beautiful, hey, that's on you. Shit.
Nah, if your ass feel like you ugly, then enhance. You can only enhance personality. You can't do nothing when it comes down to just the guy giving look that you got. Yeah. But you can be attractive to somebody gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a bad attitude, you have bad hygiene, you talk like a man, it's a lot of things that make you unattractive. It's more things than just the visual of you that can make you look unattractive. Yeah. But people got to start calling it out, because you have a lot of women that are beautiful when it comes down to the aesthetics. Yeah. But as soon as they open their mouth, that's the ugliest woman ever. Yeah,
you're right.
She's the ugliest woman ever. The only reason why men would deal with her is because of what? They want to sleep with her. Yeah. And then when they find out that that ain't ever going to happen, they out. They ghosting. It is what it is.
That's a fact. Yeah.
But it does go to a point of what you also said too, to speak on that, where you do have men that's saying, I had a really bad experience with every black woman that I've had a relationship with. Let me try something different. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that either.
Wrong with that either. You know what I'm saying?
They still got to come to a conclusion. Yeah. So it is what it is. We ain't having a problem with women say, you know, I've been having bad experience with all these guys. I just go get a woman. Ain't nobody mad about that.
Or get a white man.
Ain't nobody sitting back. They can do the whole white man. My whole thing is, how you go gay though? How you just sit back and just say fuck that? I'm gonna go gay and don't nobody say nothing.
You can't even handle a nigga. What make you think you can handle a female?
But nobody gets upset. That's my whole point. They get upset of a rapper that coined the term bitch and got songs
biatch.
A bitch. Oh,
bitch, biatch. Oh, suck a dick.
He coins the term bitch, and then on top of that, he's 50 plus. He's been married. Whatever he got, the man is he has his own life. How the fuck do we even care about what a lot of these celebrities even speak? That's what's getting us in a lot of trouble too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of these celebrities be like, I don't want to be a celebrity no more after a certain time, and they just get out of the limelight because they like, this is too much damn pressure.
Too much, bro.
It's too much pressure. So that was one of the things that we had there, which this can tie into some shit when we was just talking about as far as like, women and men. And this wasn't even this next video we got. She wasn't even a black woman. I think she was white, wasn't she?
She was like.
Shout out to Fresh and Fit because that's what it was on.
Fresh and Fit
and the roommates
podcast right now, besides ours.
Right. Yeah, they expose a lot of fuckery.
She was white, bro. She was like.
She was you don't. Yeah, you have more Latinas and Hispanics on that show than probably any other race that's there. They got a lot of Russians be on there too, man. Damn, Miami be having all kind of damn. And I gotta say, they are aesthetically beautiful, but they are dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb. I don't even know. I was about to try to use a more intelligent word, but dumb is about right. That fits it.
The prettier. Right? They're gonna fuck me on. Hey, but the better the chick, man. I mean, she's not. Most likely, she's not gonna be the brightest.
When you got to speak on it. It probably when young. When they're young,
yeah.
When they're young, as you get older, man. Even when you see it on those guys' show, when the older women, it's like they still have that same mentality, but it's not as potent as it was when they was 20.
Yeah.
Like especially if he has somebody that's 36, they come on there, they be like, I just fucked my life up.
Yeah.
They saying, they be like, they saying the right things.
Yeah.
Because I'm 30, and on that show, man, 36 is like 50.
Yeah.
Because most of the girls on there I'd say the average is what, about 22, 21, 22?
Yeah, around that age range.
Yeah.
22, 20. Yeah. I think the oldest chick I see on that show is like 36.
Yeah. What was the title of that? I gotta see. Understand That Role. I think this was it. Yep. This was the one. Yep. So this one was about. It was a discussion that my man from, and forgive me because I don't remember his name, but he's on the Roommates podcast. Yeah, and they were guests on the Fresh and Fit, which is, man, if y'all get a chance, go over there to Fresh and Fit and watch their podcast, man. It's dope as hell.
I wish I had Fresh and Fit when I came out of high school, bro. Like, they all about men empowerment, man. They tell men to, to get their money right, get in shape, and they, put them on game, about women. And these used to be nerds, They had to learn, to understand women, how to get girls.
Yeah, they got a lot of
naturals,
Yeah, they talk about girls, but they have stuff to help you get your credit together.
Yeah, man.
To invest. They have, and it really works to help you with your social media.
Yeah.
Like, they new age. I got to give it to the young brothers. They new age, man. But we're going to go ahead into this video right here, and you will see. And if you get a chance, man, after you subscribe to our channel, go over to the What We Know podcast. Even though we don't have any videos on there right now, you can still subscribe. We need you to subscribe, man, and hit that bell when you subscribe to it.
They try to hold us back, man, earlier. They won't let us go live, but we still here. But yeah, subscribe to the What We Know podcast channel, man.
Yes, sir. And
like the video,
and if you on the YouTube, subscribe to this one right here and like the video while you on here.
Tomorrow we're gonna upload tonight's show tomorrow on the main channel.
Yes, sir.
So
yeah, you got it. All right, let's go ahead with this one right here, man.
Intimidated by the idea of coming home to a independent woman.
Hold on.
We're not intimidated.
By the way, this is fair use again. Fair use.
Why are men so intimidated by the idea of coming home to a independent woman?
We're not intimidated. It's
I
a
would
headache.
think that an independent woman, like independence, is an
Hold on.
attractive quality.
No.
How would you
Mary
define
just said
independence?
though, what Fresh has said.
I mean, in simple
Not
terms,
intimidated,
a
it's a
woman who
headache.
doesn't need a man but wants a man and wants to be also. I mean, I can provide
Hold on. What'd you say, bro?
You know, when she asked that question, Fresh said in the background, like, no, we're not intimidated. It's a headache. And I was just saying that, like, some black men, well, she's not black, but some men think some women in general are, like, either black or independent. Like, some of them think, you know, these women are headaches, you know, and this is why they go to the direction that they go, you know. So I just want to point that out.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and hit it.
in my own ways, and the man will provide in his own ways. However that dynamic works, it'll work.
Okay, so you said a woman who doesn't need a man but wants a man.
The stupidest shit ever.
So like, what do you mean by, like, I'm trying to understand what do you mean by not?
I mean, I'm not a child. I don't need a parent. You know, I want to be in a partnership. I want somebody who will, if I'm younger than him, for example, I want him to strive to raise me to his level. Just like I feel like a top tier men are drawn to people who they want to be their peers eventually. They like lifting people up, and I think that in a relationship it should be the same.
Well, I think for me, I think you're viewing it like as a woman. I think it's hard to view it as a man. I think it's a reality thing because there's certain things that you value that men wouldn't value. So for example, if let's say you made $200,000 a year, right? And your man made $50,000 a year, you would eventually want him to get there. Is that fair to say, ladies?
Absolutely.
And if he was lazy and he didn't want to get there, he wanted to stay at 50,000, would that be a turnoff? If he didn't want to get better?
Yeah, it's not about laziness. Here's another example. If I wanted to study something and I knew that I wouldn't be able to work for the next 8 years, medical school, for example, then if my man is willing to support me, I want him to eventually be happy with my success.
Yeah. So let me finish my example, and I want to answer your question. So the point is that you guys want a man to get on your level. So guys, if a woman was making $50,000 and you're making $200,000, do you want her to make $200,000? Is that a priority for you guys?
No,
not a priority. So you see, guys, they don't view it that way. They like, you gotta think about it. Men are conditioned to protect and provide for thousands of years. So men are not looking for a teammate who can do what they do. You know, like it's like the best way I can break it down.
But it's not about doing. Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah.
I apologize. But it's not about doing what they do. It's about doing me and being supported and
So here's
supported emotionally and.
Here's a problem: a man with options can choose, and unfortunately, you're the worst option. No disrespect. No disrespect, because here's the reality. There's two guys, right? There's a guy that makes $500,000. All things are equal. They're both handsome. They're both tall. They're both successful in their own sense, right? One is a successful teacher making $50,000. One is a successful doctor making $500,000. Which one is more attractive?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I blinked out a second ago.
Okay, cool. So there's two. There's two.
You see how she ended up because he told her. For one, she was already hot because he said, "Well, you looking at things as a woman and not as a man."
Yep.
And so she, at that point, she really stopped listening. And then he went and when he said, you know, based off of what she was talking about and based off of what he was talking about, that all she heard was, "You're the worst choice," and it made her just go, watch what happens. We go back to about right here.
You better get her ass.
In their own sense, right? One is a successful teacher making $50,000. Two guys, right? There's a guy that makes
supported and
so here's
supported emotionally and.
Here's a problem: a man with options can choose, and unfortunately, you're the worst option. No disrespect, no disrespect. Because
she at that point right there,
Yeah.
and what she didn't understand was what he was saying. You talking about a man that is in a top tier.
Top like 1%, probably.
Shit, it might be less than that.
Less
It
than
depends
that.
on where the hell she at. It might be way less than that. If she's looking in a, if she's not looking globally, or she's not at least looking, nationally.
Yeah.
So she would be, but she didn't even understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
She think he just was saying that she was a bad person in her mind. That's why she was like, and look how they gasp, and look how she looking at him.
She's like, oh fuck.
She look how she got
shit. I'm fucked up out here.
She got that look like, how dare you?
Yeah.
here's the reality. There's two guys, right? There's a guy that makes 500,000. All things are equal. They're both handsome. They're both tall. They're both successful in their own sense, right? One is a successful teacher making 50,000. One is a successful doctor making 500,000. Which one is more attractive?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I blinked out a second ago.
Okay, cool. So there's
my
two
brain went to
there's
la la
two
land.
guys and everything is equal. Okay. One of them makes 50,000. One of them makes 500,000. Which one is more attractive? Everything is equal.
It's okay to say the truth.
I know.
It's okay
I
to say
find. Listen.
The feminism in her won't allow it.
No. I'll answer honestly.
So you can put that on a post. You have a teacher making $50,000 a year. You have a doctor making $500,000 a year. Which one is more attractive? She can't even answer an easy question. That's an easy ass question right there. She can't even answer it.
I want an equal partner.
I'm just as mesmerized by fancy, shiny things as any other person is. I find that sometimes men who have a lot become entitled.
Listen. I just said everything was equal.
Okay, then yeah, for sure the man who has more because my life would be better.
Because you value that more. So what you got to understand is women who think independence, you like that in men.
Yeah.
A man being independent, a man not needing you, a man to be able to take care of his stuff on his own. That's what you value in men. Men don't want that in women. Because the reality of the matter is, when a woman is really turned on by a man, when a woman is really in love with a man, when she really respects him, she becomes utterly dependent upon him because she does not want him to leave.
So here's what I don't like. My biggest fear is to lose my independence and to rely on somebody else.
And know where that comes from? Where does that come from?
I just want to say this, like ladies, like I don't care how independent you might think you are or whatever, but there's no independence in a relationship at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't care how much money you make, you know what I'm saying? You can make more money than your man. You're going to still expect your man to provide for you. So once you get a man that provide for you, your independence, that shit is out in the fucking trash. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say that shit.
Oh shit.
Okay. You sound like a man that's married or some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean that's real though, because like to me it's kind of disrespectful to a man. You know what I'm saying? You know, when a man that's willing to fucking die for you, you know what I'm saying, provide for you and shit, and you over here talking about, well, I'm an independent woman, I don't need a man for shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you, I want you. Like, what the fuck? Like, and first off, you don't need to put that type of shit in a man's face, because you don't hear a man talking about, well, I'm an independent man, I can take care of myself, I don't need you. Like, goddamn it, if you out by yourself, if you're single, you better take care of yourself. That's just common sense. Like that shit ain't nothing special. So when I hear females talking that independent bullshit, it's like, okay then, so if you're so independent, like, why is it a big deal if your man pay mostly the bills or not?
Let me ask you a question then.
Like,
you know what? And this is what's really, really crazy. I got 2 daughters.
I got
3. Both grown. Boy, whew. Good. We both got kids. We both got daughters, right?
Yeah. Girl dad, shout out to you.
So this is the thing. What do we say to our children? Like my daughters, they'll be like, I'm independent, or I'm trying to be where I'm independent and all these different things and stuff like that. However, I've never heard my daughter speak like that, but I'm dad too, so it's a lot of shit that they just ain't gonna say in front of me or some shit like that. But what my whole thing is this: I want my daughter to have a husband, right? However, the navigation to get to that is, like, when I think about it, trying to give and relay certain messages to them, right?
Yeah.
Trying to get messages to them as far as how do you navigate in this world. I understand when people tell their kids independency. Don't depend on somebody else, whether it's a man or anybody else, for your happiness, for your career, if you want a career and things like that. However, I think we get lost in translation when we tell them that that's the upper echelon of life is to be an independent woman.
Yeah.
That's why it's very dangerous to speak like that in those terms. My whole thing is that if you're going to college, if you're going to the military, whatever it is that you're going through in the early parts of your life, being a young adult, you need to make sure that you are equipped to be a wife. You got to make yourself look like a good candidate for a wife, and that is to take care of yourself, and then to be able to relinquish a certain power. But the problem is that the caveat to that is that you have to find a man that's even worth you giving your body to.
Yeah.
It goes to a point of, like, it's very hard for young folks to give each other advice. Just like it was very hard for us as young men. Like, if I was your age and we talking to each other and we still right here both trying to get it, we can help each other with certain things and give each other, certain advice. But it'd be very hard for me to be trying to tell you, hey, bruh, you need to stop worrying about women and shit, man, and just go out here and just worry about getting that paper. And me and you both 19 to 20 years old. You know damn well I'm not doing that shit. And so you would look at me like, nigga, I ain't listening to you. That's how young folks look at each other. But they also look at adults like their parents, not outside, but their parents as, you old. Remember we was talking about that? I say a motherfucker, a young person to sit back and talk about when somebody that's older trying to give them advice, they be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Times have changed. Yeah. Times only change because people's minds change. Mm-hmm. That independent shit is fucked up for women right now. Young women think that they have a lot of time. You have a minute time to get your shit right. You ain't got no time to be fucking up.
Yeah.
That's what people. That's why I was like, even when I look at this and I look at other things and I hear people talking, the number one thing right now that people are having conversations about is what? Fucking. Yeah. Not even sex. Yeah. Fucking.
Just fucking.
They ain't even talk about having sex anymore. They talking about just fucking, giving head to strangers, eating booty. Like it's disgusting. And I'm like, damn, why? I feel old now because I'm like, that shit is disgusting. So that's what they talking about now. And now you got a woman like this one right here. That's why it's very good to look outside of the ram that we always used to. Yeah. That's why I kind of like this podcast that they have, because they have they have a multitude of backgrounds. They have a multitude of race, even people geographically where they stay. A lot of people they have are just in Miami visiting. Yeah, a lot of those folks is visiting. Then you got people that live in Florida, but they ain't staying in Miami. They staying in Key West. They stay in Tampa, Florida, Jacksonville. Fort Lauderdale, and it's good to hear, especially for myself, to hear young folks speaking, because I can see what the temperature is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It may not be the full picture, but at least I got a little bit of something. And if you're not in the net and you trying to talk about something that I have no idea, man, of some of the shit that they talk about, I'm just now learning the damn lingo. So it's kind of like when you hearing this shit, it's shit that used to just make me mad just because it was the opposite of what I was thinking. Like this right here, it's kind of like I'm getting information.
Yeah.
So I love to hear people talk, and I love to hear what these women are thinking. Now, this particular woman that he's talking to, having a back and forth with, I seen that podcast, and the reason why she's having a problem with him because it ain't never been a man that sat back and that actually rejected her.
Yeah.
It's never been a man that sat back and told her, and all these women, man, come on, dudes ain't really telling you the truth. And even if Fresh and Fit, they'll tell you, even if we was trying to have sex with you and trying to get with you, a lot of shit we wouldn't tell you. Yeah. Like, that's why they like, I can tell you the truth.
Because I don't want to have sex with you or nothing.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, that's why it's very good for young women to have men in their life, father, brother, cousin is a iffy, because cousins be trying to screw their cousins and shit.
That's it.
With they sick ass, but you know what it is.
Yeah.
But father and brothers, shit, it's an iffy thing too with uncle. These nasty ass uncles. Yeah, but father and brother is pretty much the solid shit. You know what I'm saying? That's mostly the solid shit where you can have a man that sits back and tell you something that's good for you, and they don't want a damn thing from you.
Exactly.
They don't want shit from you. That's why I say, yeah, I mean, but you still get a cousin, but I'm telling you, that cousin shit is iffy, and that uncle shit is iffy.
Yeah. And they always say, man, like, niggas could complain about this shit all they want, but a lot of reason why most girls act how they act, because it's the fucking man's fault. Like,
man, these dudes is goofy as shit.
Yeah, bro, y'all allowing this bad behavior. Like you said, a lot of these girls never been told about themselves.
I ain't gonna even lie. I can't separate myself when I was younger.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We all did some goofy ass shit, and that's the whole thing. So it's really hard that's why, like, now it's really hard for a lot of women to even be able to accept when a man starts speaking some things that's going to be against their behavior.
Yeah.
It's not against them as a person.
Yeah.
But a lot of people attach themselves to their behavior, and that's why it hurts so bad. That's why it's going to hurt very much so if they try to get rid of those bad behaviors, because it's kind of like one of their damn organs. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, I got to go to goddamn, if they go to, that's why people are scared to go to damn counseling and shit like that, because it's like surgery.
Yeah.
Shit probably is more excruciating than surgery, because they're going to tell you something that you may not want to hear, that you ain't even prepared to hear. So when you hear and you just look at these young ladies' face, man, look at hers. Look at how, I mean, it was very uncomfortable. I remember seeing this full podcast, man. It was very uncomfortable. But we're gonna listen to a little bit more and then we're gonna move forward.
Yeah.
I'm from.
I don't know. I mean, I've been independent since I was 18, and I think it's a very important thing to me.
I know, but where does that fear come from?
I don't know. I don't want to rely on anyone. I wasn't brought up to rely on anyone, and I don't think
exactly that came. So what happened in childhood? Either your experience showed you, or somebody communicated that to you, because you're talking about, I have a fear. You can't live your life according to fear. Imagine me saying, I have a fear of crashing on a plane. I can never get on the plane.
Damn.
So your whole relationship movement is based upon a fear. That's unhealthy. And so what I've noticed is a lot of women, when they move in a relationship, it's based out of fear. You can't live your life based upon fear.
I think it's unhealthy to put yourself in situations where you could potentially be left with nothing.
But that's the mindset.
That's the fear.
You see how you're.
She's trying to, and again, if any women are watching this, pay attention to how she just agreed with this guy, but she was trying to be on the contrary of him. Mm-hmm. He's telling her, you have a fear just like if you have a fear of planes. because he's trying to find out where's this coming from.
Yeah.
He already know where it's coming from. He's trying to get her to understand where it's coming from. But what is she doing? No, I think it's a fear of when you put yourself in a position and they saying, hey, but that's what he's saying.
What he's saying. Yeah, man.
It is what it is. And that's the
life,
whole thing.
You're living your life worst case scenario thinking. Imagine me saying, I don't want to start a business because if I open a business, I can lose all my money, because that's a risk of starting a business. You can put all your time, energy, effort, and money and resources into a business and lose it all. So what happens is a lot of women have seen either from divorces in their family, either from their mom whining, complaining, or they've seen a woman being in an unhealthy situation, and now their fear is the worst case possible scenario.
So here's another worst case possible scenario.
But but you do not see how living like that is a problem.
I do understand. I completely agree, but I do think that there's a place for responsibility, and
fair use.
Women in relationships, because there is a power dynamic, oftentimes can be put in situations where they can't get out.
So here's a problem. You said oftentimes. That is your personal experience.
It's not my personal experience. All of my relationships have ended amicably, and I respect all of my exes. I've never been abused, thank God. I've never had any negative situation like that where I relied on someone. Never.
So let me tell you why this is your personal experience. Because when it comes to divorce, if you can look it up right now, we have all the data. Women divorce men at higher rates than men divorce women. 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. We have Google right now. We can go ahead and pull it up. So the reality of women being left by men is a misnomer. It is feminine mythology.
I'm not talking about. My concern is not being left by a man. My concern is jumping head on into a relationship where I'm feeling like I'm being supported and helped, eventually losing my independence because I'm relying on him. I don't need to work if somebody's paying my rent.
What does that mean?
So I'm explaining. Wait, I lost my train of thought. What did you say a second ago?
What I said is that
women are not leaving men.
Your fear. You literally said the fear.
Oh, okay. I remember what I was talking about. Okay, my fear isn't that I won't be able my fear isn't that my man will leave me. My fear is that I won't be able to leave because I'll be put in a situation where I can't leave.
Okay, so that fear is based upon a worst case scenario. You're living your life on a worst case scenario. If you take that energy into business, you'll never be successful.
But
if you
relationships...
let me finish. If you take that energy into finances, you'll never have any money. If you take that energy into friendship, you'll never have any friends. So what happens is that if you're living your life based upon a scenario that a fearful thing can happen, that's on you. But the wise thing to be is to be like, okay, that's a possibility. So how can I, as a woman, find the right kind of man who will support me and help me not make that happen? There's no way possible you're gonna find a guy where 100% of the time he will never do anything wrong.
So
life is a risk. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Number one, I do think that being a woman in the world, you do have to live not in fear. Maybe fear is the wrong word to use, but you do have to be very, very conscious and cautious of all the dangers around you. And relationships can turn dangerous at a certain point. That's number one. I'm not saying I'm living out of fear, not at all. Every relationship that I've been in.
What does that mean, though? You just said relationships can turn dangerous at a certain point. No one's very fascinated about this, what you just shared. What do you mean by dangerous? You mean domestic violence?
Also.
Okay, so let's talk about domestic violence. You know what's fascinating? Do you know domestic violence in lesbian couples are the highest of all couples?
I mean, whether it's lesbians or straights or anything, it doesn't matter. Being in a relationship where you're relying 100%, where you're codependent, is unhealthy, in my opinion.
Codependent.
Respectfully.
See, this is what happens when you create straw mans. When you make an extreme. So on one end of the extreme is codependency, where I have nothing without you. Another end of the extreme is where you're probably at, independency. I am without you. But the healthy medium is interdependency, is that I could exist without you, but I not only want you, but I need you.
So can I say...
Let me finish. Because I'm be honest with you, right now, the energy that you're on is masculine energy.
Oh, God, no.
No, why? Because you're comfortable. This is the problem. You're comfortable with having to usurp your way. So a lot of times there's no... when there's a relationship, when women say they want equality, there's no equality. There's no two kings in one castle. There's no two presidents in one country. There's no two CEOs of one company. There's always a leader and somebody submits to your leadership. You want to be in charge.
I don't. I absolutely don't. I will say my dating style, I love a man who will support me, lift me up, help me. But at the same time, I'm not going to relinquish all of my power.
I understand it, but what I'm saying is that what you're communicating is an idea which you feel like you represent. But I'm telling you right now, from even communicating with you, from this conversation, talk to hundreds of women, the energy that you have is very masculine energy.
Oh my God.
You can say all that you want, but the idea is you want somebody to join your team. You want somebody to join your program. You want someone to follow and
I
support
want to join
you.
some's team just the same. I think.
But that's not how. But that's not how it works. That's not how it works. When two companies merge.
I'm glad that they made this a one of those short clips. It's not really that short. I'm not gonna go any further with it.
But we got the we get the
get
idea.
the gist of it. Yeah, she is hard headed.
Yep.
And pretty much, he was beating his head up again. Look at that vein in this guy.
Yeah, he like goddamn. Like,
I mean, it's his job. You know, that's when he get down. That's how he get down. But at the end of the day, that's why I pretty much I like that this podcast right here, man. Just because the simple fact that they do show discourse in real time. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really big on the whole kicking hoes out and all that stuff, but I love to see and get the information from based off of how women think and how men think, and then how it collides.
Yeah.
And it's just at a point where when you're talking about a woman like her, just hard headed.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the majority of women will be that way, young women, because when they get to a certain age, now they kind of settle down.
Yeah.
But the ones that don't, that's the ones that turn bitter, look like prudes, sound like prudes, all that shit, because they was hard-headed all their young life. They had sat back and didn't make the best of their best years because they thought their best years was going to be their later years.
Yeah.
And
there's so many.
They got the...
Right. Got disappointed, bro. You know?
By the time they're 45, that's what they end up getting.
Yeah, it's so many women. Like, I know some females out there, like, the most women that are happy are the women that got the kids. You know what I'm saying? They married. You know what I'm saying? Those would be the ones that would be the most happy. But, like you said, like most women, like, they fuck off their prime years. Then when they got all the money, all the status, but they hit 36, 37, they hit 40, you know what I'm saying? Those mostly be the women that be unhappy.
This type of women that we got right now, we ain't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, they gonna hit the wall way harder than because
you think so?
Hell yeah. Wasn't nobody in my era talking about I gotta get the bag.
No.
They was trying to do that whole independent thing, but it evolved into I gotta get the bag. It's less and less women saying I'm an independent woman, and it's more and more women saying I don't give a damn. I gotta get the bag by any means necessary. If I gotta be a hoe, if I gotta get some OnlyFans, or if I gotta be an IG model, what the fuck? Do they get paid? Do IG models get paid?
Oh yeah, you get paid on Instagram now.
Do IG models get paid? I ain't talking about. I know some models, but I'm talking about every girl on there say that they're they say they a model.
I mean, I guess it really depends on the girl. Like if you got like at least 100K followers, you probably doing something.
Yeah, but then look, this is one of the things I know about social media. You can buy, and a lot of people do. You can buy followers and you can buy likes.
Yeah.
Guess what you can't buy though?
Money.
Interaction.
Yeah.
You can't see, and that's how a lot of, like, on YouTube, that's why you hear a lot of people saying that, listen, you got 100,000 damn subs, but you only got 10 people commenting on your comments.
Yeah, that's weird.
And you only got, less than 10% of people liking your videos. Come on. So that's how people be finding out. It's the same way with people on IG. You got 300,000 followers, but you only got 5 people commenting. That don't even, it won't go.
Add up.
No.
Yeah.
So that's why they do the whole statistic thing with the interaction. And algorithms and all of that stuff. You can't get any algorithms where people just sub to you or following you. That's not how that go. They got to interact. That's why they tell you hit the like button. Please hit the like button. No, I'm saying everybody that's listening, you see this video, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell. Yeah. It's a little bell on there also. We're gonna have all them instructions. Yeah. But going back to that, when you talking about the era, the women in different eras, a lot of it have to do with us as men, because a lot of it came from not because we like, that's what I like. It was kind of like we wasn't saying shit. Like, we ain't making women go out there and do what they do, but when they do what they do, we end up saying, oh shit, that shit, I like it. Yeah. So that's why you would have certain women do it. So some of the stuff that they say is not wrong when they say, well shit, men like it. Like, but yeah, what greater men like that shit?
Yeah. And all these men wifing these girls, like, they might like it.
Yeah, bring that up, man. You
my bad, people. Yeah, they might like it.
I'm gonna have to put that other arm on there so you can bring it to you.
But yeah, they might like it. You know what I'm saying? They gonna fuck for sure, but are they wifing these type of girls? You know what I'm saying?
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, it do sucks. You know?
That shit sucks.
Yeah. Hey, man. A wise man told me, man, hey, these quote unquote bad bitches, they really doing bad in life.
Was it a rap song or something?
No, it's a real nigga. Shit. See, nigga.
That's the real. They got the real name of bad bitch because they doing.
Yeah, they doing bad in life. Like,
maybe it go like how the whole rap name went.
What?
You remember the rap name? Everything used to be grand.
Then
it went to big.
Yeah.
Then it went to little.
A
little. And then it went from there to baby.
Yeah.
Shit. In a minute, you gonna have some rapper named Infant. nigga named Infant.
Came out the womb, nigga.
And look, we making jokes about it. Watch. It might be somebody named Infant already. Then what's the next one? Embryo. They call that nigga Embryo Shad.
Shit. Remember 2 Chainz used to be called Titty Boy.
Titty Boy. That's fucked up. Didn't he say he was breastfed till he was like 3 or something like that?
I don't know about
I think he was like 3 years old. His mother breastfed him till he was like 2 or 3, and he used to always be right there to his mama. I think he said he was either 2 or 3. He was a damn toddler.
Hell no. Hell no. Nigga, you got teeth, nigga. Fuck that.
Oh man, your breath smell like an old ass man. Your shit is solid now, nigga. Now I don't know if was that old, but he was.
Go to your mom, just pull that motherfucker out.
That was crazy. But yeah, man. How long we been on here? 2 hours already?
For real?
It's not necessarily 2 hours yet. I don't think it is. But I think we got one more video here. Let's check and see what we got here.
Yeah, shout out everybody who's fucking with us right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, this show right here will be uploaded tomorrow on our main channel. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you like, share, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate the love. You know.
Oh, it's just the one. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one. Should men get married?
And he mostly talking about younger men, probably like 21 and between 21 and 25.
So this was the one you saw?
Yeah, this is the one I saw.
All right, so let me get rid of the one on Fresh and Fit. Again, shout out to Fresh and Fit, man. That's a dope ass podcast. They own it.
Every young man should watch that podcast, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Most definitely. Let me put this up here. I need to. Damn, I'm gonna redo. I'm gonna get another tripod, I think, because it's not showing my face. But yeah, this is the one from my man, the same guy that was on Fresh and Fit, the roommates. I gotta remember his name. I don't know his name yet, man. But dude is
I should know his name. I watched the podcast enough. So.
Yeah, but he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool with his knowledge of Oh, is this ain't the one with him and Candace Owens, is it?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, man. Let's go ahead. Let's get into this, man. Do our little synopsis. I don't know. Did you want to do the Candace Owens, or do you want to let this be the last one that we put down?
It's up to you, bro.
Let's let this be the last one, man. I don't want to go too far over.
Cool. Yeah. We can watch that another time.
Yeah, we got.
I want to say this, man. I fuck with Candace Owens. A lot of y'all, I know a lot of people don't fuck with her, but man, I feel like she's very necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, she give out the real. Like, I might not agree with everything she say, but she's one of the real ones out here, and I think she need. I think more people need to understand that.
Yeah, I ain't got no. I don't have a gripe with Candace Owens. Like you said, there's some things that I just be like, you know what? I can't even really say that, because I think the last time people got really, really mad at her was from what she had, the comment she made about George Floyd.
Yeah, that's the one I didn't like. I was like, okay, so you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't even have to say that. Like, that's when I was like, okay, Candace, you tripping. You know
yeah, that was
I
the
ain't
one.
like that part.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about it, because it wasn't.
That man not here to defend himself.
Yeah, I think I had a problem with that.
I had a problem with that. You know, so you can't pull out these narratives about this man when he's not here.
I wonder if somebody followed up with discussing. So I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look a video up and see if she addressed it with anybody. If anybody had talked to her about it, because one of the things I do know that she ain't really scared to.
She not.
To come, she'll come to your spot and talk to you about it. So that's why I have a certain amount of respect for her. When it comes down to that, she will come and talk to you. She will have the discourse with you. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when she talks shit about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. You got to get out of here. Nope. Go. You go. Get out. Out.
Yeah, that's his cat. Everybody.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this, man. Should men get married? Let's holler at it. And then we just give our little comment on it, and we out.
Write a book, plant a tree, have a son. Why? Because they all outlive you. We as men want to live thousands of years.
Hold on, play that
They say
again.
the Jewish proverb says there's three things every man should do. Write a book, plant a tree, have a son.
Fuck with dude.
Why? Because they all outlive you.
You got to say that one more time. I gotta let him say it.
They say the Jewish proverb says there's three things every man should do. Write a book, plant a tree, have a son. Why? Because they all outlive you. We as men want to live thousands of years. The only way you're going to live thousands of years is by the value you bring to the world that's documented, is by giving back to, and I know the tree is what they're saying with tree, not even tree today, because a tree is being cut down and turned into paper. It's a business model now, right? But it's family, it's blood. And when you see your kid and you find somebody to build a family with that's a good partner, meshes with you, good personality, you sit there and say, okay, great, this looks good. We can actually pull this off. Then there's value for it.
So that's some powerful shit he just said.
Fair use.
And so one of the things is there's a lot of conversations about, the behaviors of very successful men. And and I always say there's levels to the game. There's the guys that, there's the 100,000s, there's the millions, there's the 10 million, Pat's at the top of the level. You know what I mean? Pat is a guy who's an extremely successful man. A lot of people will show things on social media, but Patrick, hands down, successful man that you cannot deny. So one of the questions that people always ask is, what is the incentive of a very successful, especially financially successful man to settle down and get married? So I'm very curious about from
Good
your
question.
personal
Very good
perspective,
question.
as a man who was being successful, who had an onward trajectory, who was doing so well, what made you decide to get married?
The risk is very high, by the way, to get married. You know, for me, when I was 28, I had made a decision I'm never going to get married. I said, I'm staying single. And my assistant, very good friend of mine at that time, Sandra, Patty, said, why don't you go read this book, 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged, by Norman Wright. So I read the book. When I read the book, I'm like, interesting. I was talking to 4 girls at the time. I said, why don't you guys read this book as well and see how you feel about it? So they did. I'm like, I could never be with you. You and I would never work out, would never work out. But I asked the one question, why get married? There's way too much risk to it. So then I sat there and said, well, you have somebody to come home to every night. You can still have somebody to come home to if you're single. Matter of fact, you can have options. If you know what I mean? When you have the money, you can do whatever you want to do with that. Yeah, but tax benefits, I don't care about that. I can move to another state and get better tax benefits. It's somebody that you're, it's somebody that can help you. It's somebody that can do this. Not there yet. And then it goes to, okay, look, you can make all the money in the world. Then what? Like, what leaves you? A book? Yeah, they say the Jewish proverb says there's 3 things every man should do. Write a book, plant a tree, have a son. Why? Because they all outlive you. We as men want to live thousands of years. The only way you're going to live thousands of years is by the value you bring to the world that's documented, is by giving back to, and I know the tree is what they're saying with tree, not even tree today, because a tree is being cut down and turned into paper. It's a business model now, right? But it's family, it's blood. And when you see your kid and you find somebody to build a family with that's a good partner, meshes with you, good personality, you sit there and say, okay, great, this looks good. We can actually pull this off. Then there's value for it. But I'm going to tell you something here right now. Basic rules about getting married today. If I'm a man, I'm not getting married before 30 at all. I would not even think about getting married pre-30. A lot of people argue with me.
Damn.
You don't know what you're talking about. I got married at 22 years old and I'm happily married. I'm 62. 22, 62, that was 40 years ago. That means the 80s.
Yeah.
You didn't have social media. You didn't have Snapchat. You didn't have Tinder. You don't have accessibility to what's out there today. Accessibility to sex today is so easy. The ability to be tempted today and screw up is so easy. The ability to screw up and make a royally, publicly humiliating mistake today is very high. And ain't no man walk on water, okay? And no man walks on water. Everybody sees and says, oh my gosh, oh, she's beautiful, but I'm married. There's nobody that's perfect to say, oh, I don't have to worry about the mistakes I'm gonna make. The risk is high today. The reward is not as high as it used to be. Because at least back in the days, say you and your wife got into a fight 20 years ago. You got a 30-minute drive, okay? And at the office, you talk to her. Why don't I come home and talk to you tonight? You got 30 minutes to calm down by the time you come home. Today, if you get into a fight, instantly, that second, what you want to say, you say. So you offend.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
I thought he a bad motherfucker, bro.
But it hit home so much, man, where when you have a relationship now, everything is fucking instant. When you got somebody think about it. You at work, you can get into an argument with your girl because she ain't talked to you all day. You didn't think about texting me. You didn't think about, it's like, whoa. You didn't even call me all day. Shit, I was at work.
Yeah.
So what he just said, man, I mean, so many people is having those arguments right there. So many people are having an argument because they're not accessible to the person every 2 hours. And they think that something's wrong with it. You would even have men that'll get mad at women because they haven't heard from their women in 2-3 hours. It's because of the dependence on what he just said.
Yeah.
When you get into an argument. That's why a lot of arguments, and I've been into arguments, and only thing it was text.
Yeah.
And we broke up off of fucking text. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to cool down. They didn't get a chance to cool down. Everything was instant, right there. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let this man finish that. I just had to stop that for a minute, man. God damn.
I want hold on, cause
go ahead.
One thing, like like what he said that, you know what I'm saying, like hit home. And when he said like it's a lot of risks, like, and me, like, I don't really like give out like marriage advice because I feel like every relationship is different. Just because my relationship is this way doesn't mean yours will. But one thing I will tell most people that, you know, think about the risks, you know, because a lot of times we were just taught about, you know, the good, you know what I'm saying, well, you do it, got to do it for religion reasons, or, you know what I'm saying, it just looks good, all this other bullshit, you know. I tell guys, you know, all right, I tell guys you should move in with your girl. If y'all thinking about getting married, y'all should fucking move together before y'all married. Because you need to know who your partner is. Like, it's different from being like boyfriend, girlfriend when y'all not living together. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if your girl make you mad, okay, you know what I'm saying, you ain't got to be around her 24/7. You know what I'm saying? You could divide yourself away from her. You know what I'm saying? But I tell dudes, like, man, you want to know if this she the one, you should move in with your girl, because you'll know not just the good, you'll see her bad side, and it's going to test you. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to ask yourself, am I willing to deal with this girl bullshit? Same thing with the girl. Are you willing to deal with this guy bullshit? And if it's a yes, that should be the one. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not willing to grow with the person, like, a lot of people don't understand that word, like, grow. Like, you have to grow with the person. What I mean by that, you know, you have to expect that this person's going to change. Is this person not going to be the same person that you met? So, and I think that's a lot of, like, that's why a lot of, like, new relationships now in this generation fail. You know, it ain't just the new ones. This shit has been going on for a while. Yeah, it's been going on for a minute. While. But it seems like mostly my generation is really struggling with it. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have no real leaders to look up. No, y'all struggling with it because my generation was struggling with it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's more of a culture thing than anything else, man. It's, you know, when I talk to my parents, and, you know, I have my aunties and all them, and I just remember when they used to talk about, you know, when y'all get older, when we get older, you know, you want to have everybody talk about having a great education, get the best grades that you can, so you can, you know, if you want to go, and, you know, in their area, it was more like, if you want to go to the plant and work, or if you want to go to college, or if you want to go to the military, you know, it was all these options they give you, and they spoke about all these things that you can do individually to make yourself great, but they never really emphasized marriage. Yeah. Because they were going through divorces and things like that, breakups. It was really bad for their era. So, you know, they would speak on it on a level of, like, somebody like me. I was 22, and I was like, you know, even when I told my parents, I was like, yeah, I proposed, you know, to, you know, my ex-wife, but then it was just like, you can see the uncomfortableness in them. Like, y'all, you sure you want to do that? Yeah. You know, that's how they was looking at me, and it was just like, it was kind of like, you got to be sure if that's the person that you want to marry. You know, you got to be. And they were saying things from their lens, and they were giving me a lot of advice that they gave me. I can say it was decent. A lot of it was probably even sound, but not for my era. It kind of like, because it wasn't like I was marrying someone that, for one, this person that I, you know, was marrying, her mom was divorced, her father, and it was a struggle. It was just a struggle with relationships at that time. My parents at that time, they were the anomaly, and it was a struggle for them. But they got married at 18. So for them, it's kind of like, you know, giving me advice on
getting married, the only thing that I think it was better for me to see them and to hear their stories than it was for the actual advice that they gave me.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of outdated. And one of the things that I learned from my parents was that to try to find the best possible mate, for children. And that wasn't something that I could even articulate at that time. It was just something that was innate in me.
Yeah.
So when I did, when I did get married, I think I still got married to a pretty decent woman. I got really good kids. She's big on education with them. She was like everything that I was looking at her. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of basic things.
Yeah.
But we was winging it.
Yeah.
And everybody that tried to give you advice, it was kind of like,
advice is not good advice.
It was outdated.
Yeah, bro.
So it was kind of like in their day, it was good for them.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize it was from their lens. But when they was giving it to me, it was like, like you got to do this and you have to do that. And a lot of times it was just through the fact that a lot of men didn't tell women the truth at all. And I ain't talking about cheating part. I'm talking about they didn't tell, because it was just in that era where they were getting kicked out and then they were living with the women and then it started being where they were living with the women and their kids. So a lot of dudes was telling a whole bunch of goddamn lies for survival. Mm-hmm. Where it used to be where women, they acquiesced it for survival. And it all changed. Now, fast forward from my generation to my kids' generation, everybody's lying to each other, and they don't know shit.
They don't know shit.
Because my generation was fucking it up too. So now, look at what this man was saying. He's saying something that was based off of what? Religion. So it couldn't have been all wrong as far as the basis.
Yep.
And it may not be religion. He's just talking about from a doctrine that can, everything the religion derives from. Like he was saying with the, what was that, the Jewish Bible? Mm-hmm. And he was saying what they were saying. A man have a child, plant a tree, read a book. Mm-hmm. These things
add value to the world.
And the reason why is it's to be valuable. Mm-hmm. It's to live for thousands of years. Yeah. So one of the ways that we know as men that we can still live for at least right now a couple of hundred is to have children. I don't know about, like you saying, I don't know about planting a tree. Yeah. But I do know that if I have kids and my kids have kids and their kids have kids, I'm going to keep living.
Yeah.
So we do know that worked. Now, it is also what he was speaking on too, where a woman was to be able to help that man get to that point and carry his seed, because the only way we can have children is through her.
Yeah.
So then we talk about, like when you hear people talking about chivalry and all these different things, they were components to get people to be closer together so they can have sex and to have kids. That's why when you hear, young folks like Fresh and Fit, Myron and Walter, when they talk about it, they don't speak in depth, and I'm pretty sure they can, but what they say, chivalry is dead and women killed it.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, not
we
really.
all killed it.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
We all killed it. And it's because everybody is trying to give we're all trying to give what we know about relationships to one another. Yeah. A man do this, a woman does this. This is what, and actually, we all have to be students. It's time out for all these goddamn experts, gurus, and all that. It's about people being students now. Yeah. Some of the shit we have to do, we got to shut the fuck up and listen to things that people have. They may not be experts in anything like that, but like this young man we looking at right now, he can give, and I seen this one too. I saw this on podcast too. He can give some good nuggets, some jewels that you can take and just apply it to your own life. Simple shit. Yeah. And that's what we looking at now. Let's get simple again. It's too complex right now. Women this, men this, black women this, black men this.
Like, we shouldn't be competing with each other. Like,
hell no.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but how do you do it? Because we don't trust each other. And I tell people this all the time. If they talking about all of these things about our community, let's talk about specifically black folks in America. We would never have a prosperous community if men and women do not have respect for each other. It's going to always be shitty. It'll never get better. If you listen to Louis Farrakhan, and he quoted, and I think he was quoting Elijah Muhammad. Not sure if it was Elijah Muhammad that came up with it, but he was saying that a community can only get as high as its woman. And some people would say high as its woman's, what did he say? Her, was it frequency? Is as high as her, basically, we can look at it right now. I guarantee I can look it up and we'll be able to see it. Let's see.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, when people be reading, like, relationship books and shit, I'm like, man, all that shit low-key trash.
A lot of it, I mean, like I said, you can get jewels from a lot of these things. Some people have things in depth. Some people have things on the surface. Everything you can learn from. But when people you got people that are not experts that's trying to be experts. Yeah. Like, I've never seen a relationship expert.
Me either. Yeah.
Reason why I say that is because I've never seen someone graduate from the school of relationships. Yeah. We all, in that case, we all are at some point some type of, may not be an expert, but we are architects of relationships. We are, because we can build them.
Yeah.
Can't nobody build our relationship with us and the person we with or the person that we love. I can only, if I got with my kids, just because they're my kids, that doesn't mean that's the relationship as far as, I had, I helped to conceive them, but we have to build our relationship.
Yeah.
So we're still architects of it, but a lot of people don't. They want people to save them. They want people to sit back because we don't think that we are as intelligent as, we don't give ourselves the credit for being that intelligent when it comes down to relationships. But we are. Because some shit we just got to give up. If I'm sitting here and my mate is feeling bad because I'm always doing something, I'm ignoring her, or I can sit back and I can tweak that shit out. How? Get rid of ego. Get rid of, not trusting her. Having real conversation, really understanding. Sometimes she may be saying one thing, but she means something else.
Yeah.
Being able to usher her to get in a very understanding. That's an architect. We all got it, but a lot of this shit comes from our willingness to do it. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things I do know, hold on, let me finish this up right quick. But one of these things I do know is that's what it is. A community is only as high as the woman's consciousness.
Bars.
But somebody else had quoted it as a community can be only as high as its woman. It makes sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. Look at what's going on right now. When you see a bunch of women that are they're not wearing their own hair, and we talking about in droves. It's nothing wrong with wearing a wig. Women been wearing it all they goddamn since women were able to do it. However, when you see a whole culture of women that's wearing hair that don't even look like theirs all the time, they can't even go out the house without putting something on top of their head, whether it's somebody else's follicles or a goddamn bag on their head. When they got to keep putting makeup on, when they got to sit out there and everything that they wear is goddamn leggings. That's the community's issue. Because that's telling what our consciousness is. She's telling us what our fucking consciousness is.
Yeah.
We're not willing to look at it that way. We're willing to go around and keep saying blame, blame, blame. That's why I had to get that shit out of my damn lexicon about blaming. Yeah. No, accountability is enough. Yeah. Blame, you don't do shit. That's why, well, blame white supremacy. And then after that, then what do you do? No, you take accountability.
Yep.
So it's the same thing with us. Same thing with women. You see a bunch of men that's out here and all we doing is, for one, our goddamn language is bad as hell. Guess what it ended up doing? It ended up putting it into their consciousnness. You hear women that talk just like men. Everything is bro, everything is bitch, bad bitch, busted bitch, all kind of bitch. Bitch.
Biatch.
That's the consciousness of the community.
Yeah.
That's not the individual. Look at a 13-year-old and you see a real bad, as far as like their behavior, they just terrible. First thing a person looking be like, that kid terrible. That's a bad kid. No, that kid's the consciousness of whoever it is that's over that child. Yeah. That's what it is. It ain't none of that other bullshit. It is absolutely all of us to have to take on accountability. One of the reasons why is we attach to each other. Yeah. We're connected to each other. There's no independent. There's no by yourself. There's none of that.
None of that shit.
When one person die, whole community of people feel it. The worst thing in the world to feel, and they can't if they dead, but for nobody to have any feelings for you when you were gone. Nobody to miss you. It's people that every day, ain't nobody missing them. Ain't nobody missing them. But if somebody had to observe that, and that messes with their consciousness, they ain't here no more. But we all understand that because we're all connected. That's what it is. I want to get a little bit of this right here, man, so we can close this show out, man.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody, man, who's watching us right now. Man.
Absolutely. Again, if you can just go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, What We Know, and also the Jig Tyte channel also. And don't we got a Facebook too?
Yeah, we got a Facebook page. You know, you want to like the page, you know, it's What We Know Podcast. Yeah, like I said, you can follow us on Instagram, What We Know _podcast. And this is just our first show, man. We gonna get better with time, you know what I'm saying? So, like I say, man, we're gonna keep bringing content, you know. The key is, just being consistent,
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and listen a little more what this man's saying again. Man, if y'all can, roommates, man, follow them guys too, man. Dudes got some real shit.
Yeah, follow the roommates, you know what I'm saying? Fresh and fit,
yeah.
All that.
You fan, scar. It's just like, dude, I'm so done with this marriage. So today we have too much of the opportunity to react instantly. There's too much instant reaction. And hey, you don't know what you're talking about. That fight is too instant. So those are all scars that you're leaving on each other, right? And eventually, after all the scars you get, it's like, I just have no desire to do anything with you in bed anymore. I really don't. I'm good. You're facing this way. She's facing that way. So it has to be built on the right values and principles. It has to be somebody that you date for some time and you see all the dark side of them and yourself to see if you can do this or not. Preferably a referral that's coming through somebody instead of cold. I knew my wife 5.5 years before we got married. She knew my flaws, I knew her flaws. Oh yeah, she dated other guys, I dated other girls, and eventually we said, let's see what could happen here, and we build a family together. You have to create certain criterias before you, and when you get married, watch the fights, watch the arguments, watch how people argue. I remember one time my wife, we were dating, and she is about to lose.
Quick question. Would you say?
Yeah, we got that damn commercial. I hate that they be having these damn commercials on here. Yeah.
Transform.
That's all right.
Financially, she wasn't the best of places.
We gonna have to get us on.
Challenges took place. She was in the mortgage real estate business. And 1 month, she calls, we've been together for 3 months. She says, this month, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. I'm like, ooh, okay, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
She, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent.
That's a red flag.
Hey, no, is that dry begging? Let's see what he'll say.
Really? Yeah.
That's real shit. Wow.
What are you thinking you're going to do? I don't know. What do you think I should do? I said, well, number one, I would go return your BMW that you have, that's $850 a month car payment, white convertible. I'd go return that and say, can't pay the payment anymore. What else would you do? Number two, I'd go back and I would get a Nissan Sentra, $200 a month. That saves you $600 a month. Okay, what else would you do? I'd go back, and I know you're doing insurance and real estate right now. I'd go back and get your old job where you worked to give you a good shift where they can pay you $40,000. That at least covers your, expenses. What else would you do? Boom, boom, boom. I said what I said. And she says, okay. I said, what do you mean? Let's go return the car. I said, you sure? That day, we drove to BMW. She returned her car. Then we drove up to Sentra. She got the Sentra. Then she went back to her job, and she got a job. And I said, never once did she say, can you lend me $1,250? Not one time. So to me, that was like, okay, because my biggest concern was, I have money, so you're kind of trying to. Never did that. And I said, she has no clue. She just passed an incredible test for us, right?
Yeah.
So it's very risky, and there is no 100%. Everything about marriage today is odds. And sometimes you can have a fight that no matter what, Kansas City Chiefs are supposed to win the Super Bowl, and Brady could still win. So you can still do all of it right, and the odds are in your favor for this marriage to work. It could still fail.
Yeah, no, that is a conversation that we're always having, and I think to me, similar to you, I think the advantage of a man's ability to raise his son is so important in today, especially as the world gets more and more crazier. I just think, that's one of the incentives for me, is that, like, similar to how my father was able to be in my life. And I know you shared a story last time on the podcast, how having that 1 day a week with your dad really shaped your life. And I always said that I grew up very rich, and people are like, oh my gosh, you were spoiled. How much cars did you? I'm like, no. My parents were immigrants. We had no money, but my dad gave me so much love and time.
Powerful,
and that was the richness that I grew up with. So
Yeah.
for me, the beauty and value is in that for marriage. And so you made a point about criteria for selecting a wife. So if your son was 32 years old, he established himself financially, you see he's doing well, and he's trying to settle down, what would be 3 criteria that you give him for a wife that comes off the top of your mind?
Yeah, so first of all, you have to be physically attracted. So that's not even one of the 3, but you do have to be physically attracted. Okay. So the whole idea about, it doesn't matter. Oh, no, it matters. Okay, it matters. And by the way, my wife and I, till today, we talk and we say, hey, we have to stay in shape for each other. We have to be attractive to each other. We have to want to have sex with each other, because that is a very important part of marriage. So it's not like 280 pounds, but you said, through thick and thin. Yeah, it's a little too much thick right now, and I'd like it thin, right? But so that is a part. And sometimes men let themselves go, and you see, they got a big pouch. But you're my wife. That's not how things work. You have to. So, but let's set that part aside. For me, number one would be values and principles. And I'll explain to you from my parents' standpoint. Both my parents are Christians, right? But why did they get a divorce? Here's why. My mom was a communist. My dad was an imperialist. My mother believed rich people were bad people. My dad thought poor people were lazy. Look how big of a conflict that is.
Yeah.
So my dad's trying to become rich, but that's who my mom hates. How can your husband become exactly what you hate? The more my dad's aspiring to become rich, the more you despise rich people. Why would he become rich? You don't like rich people. I don't know if that made sense or not.
Yeah, it makes
so it's
perfect
kind of like,
sense.
dude, I'm trying to really give you the life, but she despises rich people. So values and principles. To me, politics is almost more important than religion. People say, why would you say that? That's so weird. Okay, so if a Christian marries a Catholic, they're both Christians, a little bit different. If a Christian marries a Jew, okay, one's a Christian, one's a Jew. But it's very different, Patrick. I get it. But 10 Commandments, okay? Same values and principles in that area, but economically, if you believe certain economy is going to be one way and she believes in a different way, if you believe politically one side and she believes, you're causing too many fights. And you're causing way too many things for kids to also have more fights with. So philosophically, you got to be on the same page. The magic, the excitement's got to be there when you're around each other. It's not going to be like that forever because, when you have kids, you can't have sex for 3 months. And it's going to be a lot of things that's going to hurt the magic at times. But there's got to be that twinkle where you're like, man, I can't wait to see her. I can't wait to go have that dinner with her, right? And then, ask a lot of questions up front. Man, I asked said, so let me ask you this. Yeah, what are we going to do one day if this happens? What would you do? One time I asked my wife, I said, let me ask you, if we get into a big fight, okay, terrible fight. I'm talking horrible fight. We're together for 9 months when I asked this question. I said, who would you call? She said, I would call this person, that person, this person, this person, this person. I said, okay. So I got a paper and pen out. Tell me about this person. Are they married? No, she's divorced. Okay. Tell me about this person. Tell me about that person. I said, yeah, I'm not ready to get married. She says, why not? I said, because everybody you call is going to defend you. And they need to defend me. But everyone's going to defend you. She says, what do you mean? Who are you going to call if we get into a fight? I said, let me tell you who. I said, Dudley, my dad. And I went through a list of the names that I would call. I said, you know what every one of these guys would defend? Who? You. They would all say, I messed up, to come and apologize to you. I said, you see, the challenge is, if I have way too many divorced friends like to recruit people to the divorce community. Wow. Yep. Married people like to recruit people to the married community. Single people like to recruit people to what? Single community. We're all recruiters, by the way. Yeah. So when you get married, it's very important that most of the people you're around is also what? Like you. Yeah. Or else you're going to be tempted. So I made the list. She made the list. So you guys got to have the conversation where you ask and say, hey, if something happens, who are you going to call? And then I'm telling you, 90% of the questions you're asking me is in 101 questions to ask before you get engaged.
That's it, bro.
That's it, because he's just giving out bombs.
Hey, man, look at this came out there, bro.
He's just giving out some real jewels out there, bro.
God damn.
Talk, man.
And basically...
And you got to think about these things, man, because, like, we bringing these kids in this world, bro, and we fucking in these toxic-ass relationships, you know, and we... In a way, we so weak where we give up, and only person that's gonna really suffer is the kids. So we have to think about these things. You know, we gotta have these conversations. You know what I'm saying? Me being married, I've been married for 3 years now. You know what I'm saying? And I've been with my wife for 8. Like, you know, it's been up and down. There's been plenty of times that we want to give up, but you know, we gotta keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? Not just because we know we love each other. So we have a real village, you know what I'm saying? And we have to do what we got to do, protect that village, you know what I'm saying? And we got to understand that we are growing. We're not the same when we first met. And we have to accept that, you know what I'm saying? We have to adapt, you know?
You know what he said that was really important? And what I found that was very important? Well, it's kind of like he was making a decision. And he was really trying to make a very sound decision based off of why should he marry that woman, his wife. Like all the things he was saying that the qualities she had, and on top of that, the flaws that she had, he was gathering all of these things up to see if he could make sense of marrying her. I don't know too many dudes that did that. I don't know too many guys that can actually sit back and say that they vetted their wife. Just like I can't. It's not really about the woman in that sense, because as men, it's a reason why we have to propose to women. And that's where I think that's right from what he was saying. This is where I think the biggest problem is, and this is why I can agree with what he was saying was, for one, yeah, you know, you're in your early 20s getting married in this day and time, I think it's such a challenge, man. Yeah. It's fucked up. And damn, it's like that's something for a lot of men to be able to really think about. Like, damn, well, that's why I was saying that, like, the generation before, like my parents, a lot of the advice that they was given was outdated already. Yeah. Shit. They
live more in a traditional world, but now it's not traditional now. I mean,
no, it's still a tradition, but it's just a different. That's the thing. No, when you talk about tradition,
I'm talking about there's not traditional women like it was back in the day.
It wasn't. They wasn't. That's the thing.
Even traditional men. You know, men are not the same.
Right, but it wasn't. It wasn't the fact of that they were. This is the thing. There's still tradition. Period. No matter how we live, there's tradition. It's been tainted. That's the thing. There's tradition. Just like when you hear the term moderate, you know what I'm saying? In modern days, what they're saying is just days that are just here, like from here back, go back, 20 years, 50 years. They still consider it modern days. Then when they say traditional, what they mean by it is that not even people that are, we all are still traditional. It's shit that you do that's very traditional. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's shit that women do. But in the standpoint of relationships, man, it's traditional because it pretty much the tradition was thinned out. You know what I'm saying? It's like pouring water into some shit. Yeah. And the more and more, the less and less you practice those old ways and those tricks, the more the tradition starts to thin out because there's no substance to it anymore. There's no meaning with it anymore because it gets lost in translation. Because, for instance, like your generation, there's a whole bunch of things that y'all didn't do. You graduated in what year?
2010.
2010.
Yeah, 2010.
So think about that. You graduated in 2010. I graduated 20 years before that. The shit that I did in high school, y'all was still doing it. Yeah. It just, y'all wasn't doing it 100% the way that we were doing it. It thinned out. Why? Because a lot of motherfuckers stopped talking about it. A lot of things that people just didn't do it anymore. But it was still other things. And you may have had things that you was doing. But guess what? You didn't have any meaning to it. Y'all was just doing it. Look at what's happening now. When you look at hip hop, look at all the things in the 19-year-olds and the 20-year-olds. They're doing things and don't even know the meaning behind it. They don't know anything in the history of it or none of that shit. They just doing it. They saying shit. They don't know anything. You ask them, where did that come from? They won't be able to tell you. They just doing it. So it's still traditional. It just has no fucking meaning to it. They don't know anything about it. So when we look at all these different things, like when we try to figure out, well, what's the solution? Solution is always in the problem. It's right there. Yeah. If you got some problems, guess what you got? You got a pack of solution in that pouch. Yeah. It's right there. Yeah. It's just the fact that do you want to reach in that pocket and grab and get that solution? Yeah. And when you look at the solution, you're like, I got to do this shit? Because it's telling you, you got to stop doing this. You got to stop being with that person. You got to do this. You got to do that because it's about you. Yeah. Right now, it's about saving yourself. And some things and solutions, it tells you that you got to do some surgery. Yeah. And you got to get rid of that cyst that you've been okay with walking around with. And it could be another person. Yeah. Some people be like, I ain't willing to do that shit. Yeah. If we go again with that word, what we talked about before, and I said, man, that ain't in my lexicon no more. Loyalty. That's why people want other people to be loyal. Yeah. If you a person with integrity, what the fuck you need to have loyalty for?
Exactly.
Loyalty is you are a slave to another person's emotions, feelings, all these different things. They want you to promise that you will never do anything to hurt them. That means you telling me to stop being human. Human people hurt people.
Yeah, man.
Human people hurt human people. And we don't do it intentionally all the time. No. One of the things I've been watching, man, today, that damn Squid Games.
Oh, yeah. That's a bad motherfucker.
That's a bad motherfucker, dog.
That's a bad motherfucker.
That talks about human. What it does is it brings out the everything, the qualities, the angst of a human. It shows people being human beings. That's what it is. People being human beings. That's why you hear people talk about shit like he got shot in the street like a dog. Wait a minute. Do you know the reverence that human beings have for dogs?
We love them.
They're loyal. Yeah. They're the best friend. What do you mean? Like a dog is no. Yeah. That's a beautiful beast. Mm-hmm. No, he was shot in the street like a human. Or somebody sit back and be like, you see that man? He killed all them people. That's inhumane. That's human.
That's human. Yeah.
Don't know. There's not a being on here that kills like humans.
Nope.
We're human beings.
Yep.
We're capable of being anything. We're capable of doing anything. And that's what we have to start looking at each other as. Being capable of doing and being anything. Same thing when you look at it with women. The reason why women stand and jump up in men's face because they think that they're equally. They think they're equal. Not equally, but equal. And so they'll sit back and because this false sense of security is there, they'll jump up in your face, push you in your head, do all these things, which they don't understand that you can literally, with your bare hand, kill them. It's like, you don't understand that this is why you have so many women getting their ass killed. Quit talking the way that you talking. Quit doing the things that you do. Save your own life. Human women, when you look at it and you history and all that, when they talk about war and all that shit,
yeah,
and they go in one village, go and kill the whole goddamn other village, you know who they killing? Men and boys that are of age of being able to fight and protect. Then they take what? The little girls and the mothers. Why? Because they're assets. Guess what the women do? Acquiesce.
Yeah. I ain't lying.
They do it now. If you saw Squid Games, that one girl was going out there and she was using sex to get these guys to be on their team and do all this, and she was finessing these dudes.
Yeah.
And then they ain't had no more use to her for her. And they were like, fuck you, gone. Get on somewhere. They're showing how humans are. The old man, that shit was dope than a motherfucker. I was like, damn, man, this is more than just entertainment.
Yeah. That shit was scary, bro.
Scary as shit, but see, it shows what humans are. That's why it was scary.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one horror movie that scared me enough.
Till Squid Game.
Not just Squid, man, there's all kind of movies out there that's like Squid Game that'll scare the shit out of you because it's reality. It's so close to reality. Mm-hmm. If you look at actually what they're talking about and you see the simplicity of what they're saying, what they're just telling you is that look how simple it was. I'm sitting here, man, just looking at the shit. You got the dude with the square.
Yeah.
That's the motherfucker that was running the shit, the operations. But then you had the soldiers, they all had circles. Yeah. Then you had the other motherfuckers with the triangle. You're like, damn. Then they had all these numbers and shit like that. They turned the damn prisoners pretty much into against each other. Had them killing each other. If that old man didn't stand up there and say, listen, you killing us. You're going to kill all of us. Stop. That's all the guy wanted them to do. When they sat there and gave him a soda and an egg, what they were doing was giving him the bare minimum. And then they gave him exactly what the number was. They were being fair, but they were only being fair in a sense of this is how government works. It's 200 and something of y'all. We got exactly 200 eggs. You had a motherfucker stepped in line of the other people. They took 2 eggs instead of 1. The other 5 people didn't have no fucking eggs. They were like, what kind of shit is this? Then they looking for the government to help them to get their food back, or at least give me an egg. He like, nah, that's it. They made it where they can fight. What they're telling you is that this is how the world is.
And show what people are really capable
of. Yeah, man. So we can talk more. We can just go all day on this shit, man. But basically, what we wanted to do today was we was all over the place because this is our first thing that we doing. We're gonna pick a lot of good topics, man, and we're gonna concentrate on a lot of these. But for our first episode, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to get some content out there so people actually know that we out here.
Yeah, man. Just want to get started
in these streets. Yeah.
And hopefully, we just want to, just keep inspiring people. Just think for yourself, man. Like, all that cancel culture shit, all that shit is fake. You like, just think for yourself, man. Like, don't worry about what people got to say. You know what I'm saying? As long as you come from a good place and you know what you're talking about, and you ain't over here trying to say shit that somebody else say, you're gonna be all right. So, but it was a good first show.
Yeah.
And we only gonna get better with time. We're gonna keep, bringing you content. Content, and we're gonna keep investing in ourselves, investing in the show. So,
most definitely,
we thank everybody that tuned in tonight. Remember that we're gonna reload this show. We're gonna put this tonight's show on the main YouTube channel. I'm sorry, I've been smoking weed and shit. But yeah, we're gonna put tonight's show on the main channel, What We Know podcast, and yeah, man.
And you'll see a lot of these other segments that we have too. If you just wanted to watch, just segments of our show, we're gonna also have that on the What We Know channel and on the Jig Tyte channel, and we're gonna be having stuff on our IG. So go to What We Know on IG. It's What We Know _ podcast. We have all that stuff. I don't know if we definitely don't have it in the description box on here, but we have it next week. We'll definitely have all that stuff up. Yep. And also what's that? What else? Facebook.
Oh, yeah,
Facebook.
What We Know.
Facebook. What We Know podcast on Facebook. And
we're gonna work on other streaming platforms as well. So
absolutely, and we're gonna have call-ins too. We're gonna have people. I think I'm gonna use not Ustream, but I think I'm gonna use Yardstream. I think I'm gonna use that. I mean, I got both Yardstream and Zoom, but I think Yardstream is probably a little more easier to use. So we're gonna use that. Shit, we might even go back on Blog Talk too. But we will be having call-ins. We will be collaborating with people on YouTube also.
Yeah.
And again, subscribe, share, like, hit that bell, all of that to the What We Know podcast. And you got anything else, bro? Follow me on
what's your shout out there?
DJ _ Jig Tyte. Yep. I got to get that up there. That's DJ _ JIGTYTE. And I got a fan page, but I can't get in it, so fuck that fan page. What you got, bro? Get down, cat.
I'm not a fan of cats. But yeah, man. Follow me on Thankful _ Robert. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. So when you got an idea in the next show, a day, or something we need to talk about?
We probably can do it either Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, so we'll keep you posted, man. Either Friday or Saturday on the next show. So
get out, kid.
Oh yeah, but thank y'all. You know what I'm saying? We see y'all next time.
All right, man. We out of here.
We out.
That's it.